Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs. Hi guys, welcome to episode 32, the lessons we learned from our dog. In this episode, we talk all about our dog Romeo, and you're going to learn the powerful lessons dogs can teach us. We hope you enjoy the show. Hi guys, welcome back. We're so excited that you're here. Today's episode is all about the lessons that our dog Romeo has taught us about life in general.
Yes, and he teaches us every second of the day. He's always teaching us without even talking.
I know, I wish he was out here with us right now. We're actually down the Cape in Massachusetts, in beautiful Cape Cod with fresh air. He's not here right now. He's actually in the house probably napping, which is actually one of the first lessons, is he takes time to rest. And I think that's a big thing too, is that self-care for him to take time to rest and relax. And I think that's a huge lesson for us humans.
Yeah, self-care, because anytime he needs to take a nap, he'll take a nap on my shoulder, he'll take a nap in the car, he'll take a nap at wherever we're at the restaurant. If we're eating, we look down on the table and he's snoring if he needs it.
Yeah,
he takes a nap, he listens to his body. Yeah,
he definitely does. And we kind of joke around a lot about him because he makes me laugh just thinking about him. We're the crazy dog people now.
It's okay.
And I think about him thinking of us as his servants. So we are his servants, and all he needs to do is sits in front of us. He looks at us, and we know exactly what he's thinking. We serve him his food. So he has the intention of what he needs, and he shows it by his energy.
He does, and his energy, going back to another episode, if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch that. Are you a giver or a taker? He's always giving.
Yeah, he is.
With his energy. And that's the number one thing, because his energy is always, I feel like animals, especially if they're in the right environment and they're nurtured, they're vibrating at the perfect frequency. So his energy is always giving to us, always making us relaxed.
Yeah, he
and it's a natural reaction for us to actually want to do the same thing for him. One of the biggest lessons that Romeo has taught me is that no matter who he's around, doesn't matter if they're a celebrity or if President of the United States or anybody, new people that he meets in the street, he's always himself.
Yeah, that's so true.
No matter what, he is always himself. He's always expressing himself fully. He doesn't hold back. I know that sounds crazy, but I know my dog so much that I know when he's you can know if he was holding back or not. But he doesn't hold back. You'll notice that dogs are always themselves, no matter what. It's effortless to them.
And also, Romeo respects his own energy, because the moment he feels any kind of tension connected to one person, he leaves them. So he'll be on a road trip with us. We'll be going back and forth about directions, and whoever is right or wrong, he will either stay in your lap if you're the one that's correct, or if you're the one that's like totally getting your energy way up there and not a good space where you're frustrated, he will leave your lap and go to the next person.
Yes, instantly.
In a matter of seconds. He is so in tune with energy, it's crazy. So that's a huge lesson, to be in tune with your energy and the energy around you. Take after the dogs, the animals, they know right away.
They do. Instantly, so I'll be in the passenger seat, and instantly, right when Lindsay strikes a nerve in me and I get frustrated, like right at that moment, almost even before that moment, Romeo is getting up and he's starting to go over there.
And then I get a little, and then I bring him back.
I do.
Wait, come here, stay with me.
I do. I'm like, no. And then I look over at Lindsay and she starts laughing because Romeo sees the truth.
I'm like,
and the truth is energy.
Romeo. Yeah.
Energy never lies.
It's so true. And he tries to he's like, no, he's staying with me, see? And he's trying to bring him back.
And I'm like holding on to his tail.
Yeah. So I think that's really important too. Another thing, I remember when I was working on a program, I was creating it, and there was one time where I hadn't even showered that day. And I was like, I got to get this done. And I'm like, I forgot to, eat my lunch during that time. And he's sitting in front of me going, with his growling. And he's like, let's go outside. Like he was trying to tell me he had to go outside. And we went outside. he didn't even have to do anything. He was just spinning with his tail, running around free. And I'm like, he took me out in nature. I needed that break. So he knows exactly when it's time to shift that environment and shift up the energy. So that's exactly what he was trying to teach me in that moment. I'm like, okay, I got to listen to him. I got to be more grounded and go outside.
Exactly. And I remember the time I was still teaching in the public school system, so I'd come home and Lindsay said this. She said, Romeo, every time my energy gets stagnant, like Lindsay was speaking, and my energy gets stagnant, and of course Romeo wasn't speaking, but every time Lindsay was saying her energy got stagnant or the energy got lower, Romeo would act like he needs to go outside.
Yeah.
And he would bring her outside and she would go for a walk. So he was seeing energy. He was feeling the energy. And I feel like that's what dogs do a lot of times is, well, actually every time, is they sense the energy around them and they act accordingly. So they're seeing the truth of what it is. And it really helped Lindsay refresh and come back and be more productive and have better quality work.
Right.
And I feel like that's self-care as well, is understanding when you need to go for a walk, understanding when you need to go outside or when you need to rest or whatever you need to do in the moment, you do it.
Yes. And also compassion and forgiveness, I feel like he teaches. Even if we get frustrated at the moment where we sit down on the couch and we're like, oh, we're finally comfortable, and now he is staring at the door trying to get us to get up from our comfortable spot, and we get annoyed with that and say, oh, just wait for us, and we get frustrated, he still forgives us and loves us and kisses us still during those moments. So forgiveness is a huge part that animals, they're so forgiving, and I think if we can take after them, that would be a really good thing too.
It is, because when I, like, of course I'm a human, so I have times where I'm frustrated and, you know, it's a frustrating moment. Lindsay takes way longer to forgive me than Romeo. Like Romeo, it's like 1 minute later, I can leave and come back, and he's excited to see me again.
I
Lindsay,
need my space.
Lindsay's still on the couch, like she won't even look at me, and I'm thinking, man, why can't Lindsay just be a little bit more like Romeo right now? And let's just move on from this. You know I messed up in the moment, but look at Romeo, he forgave me,
And he says that too.
I actually have said that a couple of times, and Lindsay, sometimes it'll make you even more frustrated.
I'm like, no, I need 10 minutes. Just give me my space.
So their level of compassion is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's true. That compassion is so powerful, and I feel like sometimes, and also, I feel like Romeo adds humor too. So if we need humor added into any situation, we can look at him, and you could just see his little tail wagging and his eyes, and you kind of know what he's thinking. At least we do. We know him really well. So I feel like there's a humorous side to things too.
There is. You go back to the telepathic communication episode that we've done.
Yes.
You can, and a lot of you watching this, you understand this too. You could feel what your dog's thinking in the moment. So it's funny, like the times where where I get upset and Romeo's looking at me, I feel him thinking, man, what's wrong with this dude? You know, and it's funny, like I'll laugh in the moment because I'll see his eyes, like in the back of my head, even if I don't want to let Lindsay know in the moment I'm laughing. In the back of my head, I'm holding back. I'm like, oh my God, he's looking at me like I'm crazy right now. And you could feel that.
It's so true. It's so true.
And another thing too is, you'll see this a lot too on the internet. I remember a picture. It's of a dog sitting on a bench and seeing the trees that's in front of him. And it's a human sitting on the bench, seeing an airplane traveling, and the human's totally not in the present moment. And the dogs are always in the present moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like Romeo has taught me how to be in the present moment. For example, when we're on our road trips, we go on a lot of road trips. When we're driving and we're on the road, Romeo's either taking a nap or looking out the window or, you know, taking advantage of the present moment. To where me and Lindsay at times, we do that a lot too. We're getting really good about being in the present moment, but at times we're thinking about the city we're gonna go to. So we're not even in the present moment. We're missing different things that are happening right in front of us, the beauty of the journey. Romeo, right when we pull up to the new city, he's looking around, he gets excited, he's ready to go explore the city, and he's totally in the present moment the entire time. I feel like dogs came to this planet to teach us humans, but unfortunately, a lot of times us humans think that we're smarter than dogs.
I know, which isn't true at all.
Which is the flip side. I feel like dogs have way more wisdom. They're like our little angels, and not only dogs, all animals. Whoa. That's
I thought
interesting.
that was going to be a bird. I actually thought that was a bird.
I thought it was a bird too at first.
If you're watching this, you understand what happened. There was a leaf that just floated down that looked like a bird as we're talking about animals. But if you're listening to it, you got to watch an episode on YouTube.
Yes, but exactly. With this episode, we want to raise the awareness of animals and understand that, hey, we may think that we're smarter than animals because we can create bridges and cities and cars and all this. Yeah, humans are highly intelligent too, but don't underestimate the animals in your life. And this could not only be a dog, it could be your cats, it could be everything around you, because really your animals are mirroring you. So they're mirrors to you and what you need. So they have a lot of wisdom. And if we just get quiet and start to sense their wisdom, they could teach us without even talking. I believe it was Lao Tzu who wrote the book, The Tao Te Ching. Well, that's the name that they made up for the guy. I don't know exactly his name, but it's called The Tao Te Ching. Some people call it the greatest book ever written, or the most wise book ever written. And that's what he talked about. He said the greatest teachers, they teach without even speaking. And I almost feel like he's talking about dogs.
Yeah, animals.
Animals, yes. Butterflies.
Nature.
Trees.
Everything is alive, and I feel like that's a good note to kind of leave on too.
It is. And right as I said that, oh, you go.
Yeah, just listen to, tune in with your energy with your animals, or even squirrels, whatever's around you if you don't have a pet at home.
And right as I said that, the wind started blowing a lot. So I feel like it's nature kind of teaching us again, like, yeah, you're onto something here.
I feel like we're in the movie Pocahontas or something right now.
Yeah.
What's that song? The Colors of the Wind. I love that song.
I don't remember that.
Sing
it was in the Pocahontas? How does it go?
No, I'm not singing it, but it's a really good, look it up, look up the lyrics. But yeah, I feel like there's so much power in these animals, and they are our earth angels. So these are some quick little lessons. We have a whole list. I wrote a whole list of lessons that Romeo taught me and did a Facebook Live on it like a couple of years ago. But it's something that we think about all the time. He's our little teacher. We love him.
Every second of the day. They teach you to love more, they teach you compassion, they teach you all these great things that you could really apply into every area of your life and really start to impact your life in the most profound way.
Yes. So we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Should we do a few things? Maybe before that, should we do a few things to give them tips?
Yes.
All right, so let's do a couple tips to give them to help them learn from their animals.
I would say if you don't have a pet, think about a squirrel or a chipmunk outside, or a rabbit, because there's actually a lot of bunnies out right now in the summer if you're listening to this. But I would say, as the dog's barking in the background, the neighbor's dog, but I would say to really try to be more present with your animal and try to open up to receive messages and lessons from them in the moment, because they always have a message for us, always. And that's really, really important.
And I'll piggyback off that one. As you're doing that, focus on communicating with them telepathically, just how you do with humans, and start to feel what they're telling you, because they'll speak to you. They'll tell you different things you need to know. I know that sounds crazy to some of you, to most of you watching this, it won't. And just really listen to what they're saying to you. And if you need a journal, write down the conversations you have, saying, hey, write down what you sent to them energetically, the thoughts, and then write down the thoughts that they gave back to you. And it'll help you build rapport with your animal to where you can start to learn from them even more.
Yes, because they are like little psychics. We did an episode on kids and animals. I think that was one episode. It could have been two.
I think it was on kids, but we talked about animals a little bit too in there.
Okay, well, and we spoke about that telepathic communication too. And where was I going with that? But I think that the whole point of doing that, to practice that giving, like actually giving a conversation and receiving it back, they're like little psychics. That's what I wanted to say about it. They are. So the animals are like your little psychic messengers. So I think that's important to be aware of.
Yep.
So we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next time.
See you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.